Hi, I'm David Brevnick with the Brevnick Fishing Team. Today is going to be about pier and surf baits. Right now on the channel we're talking all you need to know about bait. Last week we talked about inshore bait, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss future videos that will be absolutely critical to your success out there on the water. So right now this is going to be part one of the pier and surf. We're just going to talk about crustaceans today. The next video coming up we'll talk about fish. So to start, we'll talk about shrimp. So shrimp is an absolutely versatile bait that can catch literally almost, or actually pretty much everything other than like a mullet off the beach. So this is absolutely great bait. It's not super hard to catch, but it can be hard at some times. Really, the only way to catch shrimp on the beach that I can think of would either be A, in a cast net, or B, in a seine net. But I normally would just buy shrimp because it's easier and I have more time to fish. But shrimp is a great way to go. And then also shrimp catches pretty much everything: pompano, snook, redfish, trout, whiting, really everything. And also on a pier too, it catches pretty much everything. It'll catch tarpon too sometimes. Depending on the size of the shrimp will also vary depending on the size of the tarpon. Like a big tarpon might eat a bigger shrimp, or a smaller tarpon might eat a smaller shrimp. So it really depends. Also, it'll catch sheep's head, black drum, Spanish mackerel, grouper, snapper. Really anything swimming around there will eat a shrimp. And what I recommend to use for those shrimp is these D&B chicken rigs. These are really good rigs. These rigs absolutely crush fish because of how stealthy and strong they are. You could either buy the one with a 2-ounce weight on it, and that comes with 2 hooks, and you can also change the weight if you want to make it a pyramid sinker instead of this bank sinker because of the snap swivel on it. Or you could do the 3-ounce weight, the one with the 3-ounce weight. You could also change the weight, and it has 3 hooks on it too, so you could put 3 baits on that one or 2 baits on the other one. So really good rigs to have. So I'll leave those links in the description below. And now let's talk about sand fleas. Sand fleas you can catch with a rake. I'm not talking about the rake you rake leaves with, but one of the special aluminum rakes that you would use to catch sand fleas off the beach. You could probably find them in your local tackle store, or like maybe at a Walmart or somewhere like that, somewhere that sells fishing stuff. So these rakes you would want to use right where you see the sand and the water, and like where you see little holes like coming out when the wave washes up, and you see those little holes. That's going to be where you want to drag your rake, because that is probably going to where the sand fleas are most likely going to be, and those little holes are usually created by those sand fleas. And sand fleas you could also buy from a bait shop. You could use them alive or frozen. Same thing with shrimp. That's something I didn't mention before. And also what I like about sand fleas is once you get a few, you could cast your lines out and let them sit, and then you could rake up some more while you're waiting for a bite. So that's something really good about sand fleas. And also they're very effective for pompano, redfish, whiting. A lot of fish will bite those sand fleas, so they're really good baits to use. Also off of piers too. Now off of piers obviously you can't rake them because you're on a pier, you're not on the beach. So you would want to have all your sand fleas all ready, and you could also use these D&B chicken rigs for the sand fleas too. Now these are 2.0 circle hooks, so you might not be able to fit on a little sand flea, but like a bigger sand flea would definitely fit. And I will have these linked in the description below again. So those rigs are very good for sand fleas too, and also I like it because they're chicken rigs, so they help make your bait look natural. And you don't have to just use fly bait on those. You can also use those fish bites that I hear a lot of people use too. So on piers you could catch whiting and pompano too, depending on where you are on a pier. And you could also catch snapper and grouper too, and sheep's head and black drum. So those sand fleas are very good baits. They're very versatile. They catch a wide variety of fish, and they're also very good to being able to be successful out there on a pier or on the beach, because they're just so good. So now let's talk about crabs. Now depending on the size of crab is going to depend on what you're going after. So like if you want to go after tarpon, you're probably going to want a bigger crab. So Crabs are not super easy to catch. You could seine net them, you could buy them, although it is harder to find them at a store. So, or you could just probably try to catch them yourself. Like if you live on the water, you could probably put a crab trap down and try to catch some crabs and then go out and use them on the beach. But also, crabs you could buy them frozen too, and they would work good. But I prefer a live crab just because it just works so much better. So depending on the crab you use, but also you could use fiddler crabs, which are easier to get too. And also those are more common to find in a bait shop or somewhere like that. So fiddler crabs are also really good on a pier for redfish, sheep's head, and black drum too. And also grouper will bite fiddler crabs too, or regular blue crabs too, and also snapper too, because it's also important to keep in mind that on those piers you're gonna have mangrove snapper around them around the pilings, especially in the summertime around a full moon. You'll be able to find lots of mangrove snapper around those piers too. And also on the beach you could use those little fiddler crabs or a really small blue crab or some other type of crab to catch little pompano and whiting, or actually I should say big pompano too, because they will absolutely crush those crabs. Pompano, whiting, really anything that eats a crab. And I would also recommend using these D&B chicken rigs for those crabs too, because they also allow your bait to move very naturally too in the water. Now if you're using a bigger blue crab like for tarpon, I would probably not go with those, but those rigs can catch a very wide variety of fish on them with a crab or really any type of bait. But if you want to use the bigger crab for those tarpon, I would recommend using a circle hook. Depending on the size of the crab, it's going to depend on the size of the circle hook. And also some fluorocarbon too, with maybe a swivel at the end, or I prefer to use no swivel normally. And then you could also use like a float on top of that too if you would like to. And also something you can catch with a crab too is cobia, because cobia will come near the beach too, and you can catch those off of piers too. You can also catch them in the surf, but it's more common and easier to catch them off a pier. So crabs are a very good bait to use. I would certainly recommend using a bigger crab for bigger fish and a smaller crab for smaller fish. And make sure to subscribe to this channel, that way you don't miss future videos. And thanks for watching, guys, and give this video a thumbs up, and until next time.